So Miik is a small business. We're based in Canada, actually, all entirely in the Great Toronto area. So from thread to hanger, like we make our own fabric, and then all the styles, everything is done within the Greater Toronto area, within like half an hour of each other. And when I first started at Miik last May, we were making that huge shift where we were taking a step back from being in stores and selling solely online to our customers. That's where this need came from, is that we knew that people couldn't try on the way that they were so used to, but we needed a way for them to be able to feel confident that they were going to get the right size and look the way that they wanted to look, and then of course feel good in the clothing.
Yeah. Would you have many challenges regard sizing or issues with people not knowing what size to buy? What were the expectations regarding like going online versus giving people appropriate information on sizing and fit?
I mean, initially we had, there's kind of the base worry of new customers especially won't know their size, but then adding a layer to that is that our fabric, because it's we mostly work with rayon from bamboo, French terry. These fabrics are really, really stretchy. So that adds another layer of, we want to make sure that what the customer is expecting is what they get. The sizing tool really lets us define, like, yes, if you go a size smaller, it will be more fitted. It's still going to fit you, but they can see literally the areas on themselves where it'll be more fitted. And then just audience wise, of course, we are a women's brand, so we're serving women, and I just find myself, even personally, I want to know where it's going to cling on my body, or where it's going to be larger on my body. So that was something as well that, from a lesser of even a size perspective, but more even towards a style and preference perspective, is where we kind of needed to bridge those two together, and why the tool is so helpful for us.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad to hear that. I mean, at the end of the day, when we talk about fashion, you just cannot ignore that factor of like, how do I like wearing clothes? Where did you see exactly that we would fit in, like a virtual fitting room would fit in their experience? Was it something thinking in the experience of the customer, because like they are already in the stores trying our product in wholesale, and now that they're coming online they still need to try it? What was the main idea behind it?
So that was definitely one factor, what you just said, is that most of our customers are coming from an area where they are able to go in store, put it on, try on any different size that they want to. And we needed to be able to translate that into the online space. And then another aspect of it was with the new acquisition, those new customers coming in now, without that aspect of having been able to try it on anywhere, and only ever solely seeing us online for the first time, there was that barrier that we knew would be there, just naturally in the online clothing space, of them needing to be able to feel that confidence that it's going to fit them, and not thinking like, okay, I'm going to have to either buy multiple sizes or return something. Like, we wanted to be able to give them a layer of confidence there, to remove that question that they have of like, is it going to fit? So they can focus on like, if they like it, like we want it to be, a happy experience of like, oh my God, I love this piece, I want to wear it. And we don't want them to question like, oh, is it going to fit though? We want them to know that it's going to fit. So that's really where the tool came in for us.
Nowadays, everything's so fast, and people need information, the best information they can have, and just we don't want to waste their time trying to find information in weird places or in different formats. It just makes a lot of sense.
That was another thing that we did see that told us that we needed a tool for customers, is that they would reach out over our customer service via email or on social media, and they would be asking for what size they need. And although the customer service team that we have is amazing and they get back very quickly, there's still inevitably going to be time between when the customer asked that question and when we were able to answer them. And by that time, maybe they had gone elsewhere to find their clothing. So this just makes it, it's right there. The answer is right
Yeah.
there.
When we started discussing, when you first saw Size Bay and we started talking of like developing this partnership into something real, we knew and we heard from you actually that you had been studying, and I don't even know how far it went, but you were also looking at another technology called Easy Size. This is a question that I have personally. What made you want or choose Size Bay over them?
It was definitely the approach that SizeBay takes to applying body measurements and how that works. The wearer, it's taking their measurements
Yeah.
and their size. It made so much more sense to us to do it that way because I don't want to know how it's going to fit just an average body or just, some generic measurements that are input there.
Yeah.
I want it to be our customer who can say, this is what my body looks like. How will it actually fit me? Because nobody is shaped the same. So that
Yeah.
was so important. And seeing that you guys had that built into your tool, and that the customization that the customer can make, not only is it super easy, but there's also kind of different levels of how specific they want to get, like changing the proportions, or they can put in their exact measurements. And it just, for our demographic as well of women and predominantly over 40 years old, it just also adds just an ease of understanding there that makes it just kind of easy to use and fun too.
Yeah.
And especially for women's fashion, it's become very like typical for women to describe themselves as a certain shape. So, like, oh, I'm pear shaped because they're more bottom heavy, or I'm hourglass. And so the sizing tool applies really well with how women have come to categorize their bodies, which whether or not categorizing their bodies in those certain ways is good, I don't know. But it's nice to be able to at least translate that in a way where they can relate to it. And as you said, personalize it to say that, yeah, oh, that is my body. Okay, so this is actually how it will look on my body and the way that I look. And so then they feel more comfortable and more confident. And at the end of the day, that's what we want.
I just wanted to hear from you, like, what's the general feedback at the end of the day when you think of Size Bay, when you look at the results, when you hear your customers talking about it? What's the overall feedback?
We always hear from customers about how cool it is. So that's the first thing that I mentioned. So that's really great, is that like the customer's experience has been really positive and they're super into it. I like to think that it's something that we've been able to provide to our customer just like as a complete bonus to them. And I think that customers have really received that so well, is that like, oh, we have this for you. And they love it. So that's been really great, the customer feedback. And then on my end, it's been really great. Like the communication between us is so open. And I mean, I always kind of like the day before a new launch, I'm like, guys, hey, we have these products. And like, you guys are like, it's no sweat off your back. So that's really nice.